Hello and good evening, SpeedGaming. Welcome to Worlds Collide Wednesday, where we showcase the Final Fantasy VI Randomizer Worlds Collide. My name's Joker Mage. I'm joined in the booth with Saberwolf, and we have the Schwans running the show behind the scenes. Hey, Saberwolf, we got a unique thing going on to show everyone today. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we got a little bit of a drafty thing going on. We got Christopher Warken, and Sexy Jix for Rock, and The Dog. Drink School who's running this little race tonight. And as you can see on Jexy's screen, we only have one little flag. Simply, get 10 Espers, Yellow Kefka's Tower. Now, a couple of other things that are kind of different in this race, because again, this is a drafted race, is that you do have to... I lost the thing. Okay, so apparently we're only starting with 2 characters. We're not sure which of those characters they're going to start with, but they're very wealthy when they start because they get 100,000 gold. They also get 2 tools, 10 warp stones, and 10 phoenix downs. But not only that, but everything in the stores only cost 2,000 gold.
Now, one question. Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide is normally a character-gated game, so starting with only 2 kind of limits your starting choices, right?
Well, no, because they actually drafted Unbound, which means open world, which means every single check on the table is available to our runners. So it's not character-gated.
That's right. You can go anywhere, do anything, and with the funding that you've got, you can basically buy anything, and you can also, in fact, buy any kinds of the breakable wands, the elemental shields, and super balls to just use in your battles.
That's right. So not only does the items cost 2,000 gold, but those rods, super balls, and elemental shields that makes the early game so much easier are also available in the shops. But wait, there's more power, as also the characters that we do have in our party are 140 to 200% of their normal stats. Which means you could basically start with like a Sabin with 80 vigor, or you could have Terra with over what is it, 36 times 2, so you're looking at 70 magic power.
Now the other
9,000.
Yeah,
1,000 gigawatts.
That sounds great, but I'm also worried about the usual scaling problem that we have, because if all those checks, surely the scaling's going to go out of control.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. There is no scaling. Well, kinda. It's based off the character's levels. So somebody named The Dog, picked Mirror Match. So that means the enemy and boss levels, the HMP, the experience and gold rewarded to them, goes at the same scale as the highest level person in the party. Maximum of 50. So in starting with only 2 characters, whoever is the higher level of those 2 characters, that's what the enemies are going to be.
So basically, there's a lot of really broken things that are going to be combining to make something that's extremely broken.
I will be shocked if these runners go less than 45 minutes before getting to Kefka's Tower, because this is going to be a very fast race.
Well, then let's hope I rolled a doozy of a seed then.
You better.
Just put statues at all the key places. Just put statues everywhere.
Oops, all statues and all dragons. That's what it should have been. But yeah, unfortunately, the 2 most interesting picks that could have been, which was starting with Strago with healing magic, there was no white magic. White magic was taken out, and then both those picks was what's called calmness, which means that we're both removed out. So white magic is back into play, and Strago was kicked out. That would have made the seed a little more interesting, starting with Strago with healing. Also, by the way, Strago and Realm also have magic. They're the only 2 characters that will start with magic naturally, and those magic spells are randomized. So if we get a Realm or a Strago on the team, they will already have magic and learn some spells.
Yeah, we had a bit of calmness, mutually assured destruction go on during the draft, and we're all the victims when that happens.
Well, someday we will do like a draft race. We'll include you out there, the chats, the fans. Thank you for the 30 people watching right now. One day we'll pick like a random handful of you, and you guys will draft the flags for our runners. So we'll see how that happens.
In the meantime, Sybil, if you were subjected to this particular flag set, how would you start off?
Oh, I would definitely start off with, if you start with Terra, I would do her treasure room check and go straight into the Esper Cave.
It's open world.
Right, I know. But actually, it actually doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll just go to Terra's treasure room.
Do all of the free checks.
And then do all the free checks that have espers, or at least are going to be probably espers. Ones that would not have a situation of a character. And once I find my 10 espers, I will try to go to peekable checks that might have a character. So like Phantom Train, Moblez World of Ruin, as we're off and running.
It sounds like a plan, and we'll see. While we do already see it, looks like it's Shadow's Statement start.
Sabin has that over 80 vigor before he actually gets any items, and Shadow has 40-ish, 50-ish vigor, 40-ish magic power, so not too bad. Looks like Drink School is going to do World of Balance, Norche, and Jexy's doing the same thing.
Christopher Walken needed a little bit longer to sort of set up, but is also looking at Narche.
Yeah, so Christopher Workin, he's newer to the community, so while Jex and Drinks Glue are very much seasoned veterans, so a little bit of differentiation and skill level, but this kind of a seat setup though is gonna kind of level the playing field because it'll be easy to get into Kefka or along with Kefka in under 30 minutes. So
now with no gating on any of the checks, do you go ahead and try to get does that include, I should ask, the curse shield here in the World of Ruin?
Yeah, so you could go for the curse shield in the World of Ruin since it is open world. So that would definitely be an option. Looks like Drink School's not going to go that route because he flew away. He's going straight into Culligan, which does have a free check. That is a Setzer's free check in the cafe. He's going to find Terra. So we have the 3 minimal characters we need. So even though we start with 2, you need at least 3 characters to unlock the actual Battle for Kefka because you need 3 characters to get on the switches. So already we do have our minimum 3 characters. It looks like Jexy's going up the top of the hill.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I'm not sure what he's going to be looking for up there.
Well, I mean, it is a free check because he's doing Mog's Wolf check. He did go into the Werewolf room, which does trigger that. And also, that's like a back-to-back, even back, if you want to do both Moogle checks and Kefka at Norsh. I probably wouldn't do it with only 1 character because you don't know what the boss is. But he is doing the free portion check of it, which is the Wolf. So
I think we're seeing Gal's father on Drinks Glue. Yep, that's a free check for Shadow.
Yeah, free check for Shadow. We have Shadow in the party, but again, it is open world, so that is going to be Gao. It's Gao at Gao's dad's house. I guess he's visiting his dad.
He just got kicked out.
Balls.
Yep, we knew they were there, and there you see them.
Yep, so that's going to be a great thing for them. Cheap Rain Sketch, not great abilities, though.
I think the next one you might want to check is the South Figaro Celeste check. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because, and that's where Glue's going. He's going to South Figaro, which I guess you can loot a little bit because he is getting a little lower in funds. So he's probably going to do a little bit of looting here. Oh, gem box for Jexy. That's a dead check for them. But it would be good but a gem box will help, I guess, for doubling up the magic power. I mean, it's really just a sellable item. There's really the economizer you want to find, especially if you can get a early Ultima off a
Christopher Walken is doing a Kefka and Narch battle.
Ooh, okay. I would not recommend this because you don't know what this boss is going to be. But he will get a quick jump in levels, that's for sure.
I do like what Glue is doing, just, flying around doing all the quick checks and, building up what you need for the late game.
Yep, and also we did have earrings in the relic shop in Narsh, so everybody does have access to earrings. Enhancer for Terra, I did not see what her magic stat is, but with earrings and an enhancer already, she's going to be off the charts. I mean, even with like a Fire 2 or Ice 2, she's going to be doing heavy damage already. If they could find an elemental shield to learn off of. And that is a match like Gollum even! Woo!
All right, that's I was about to say I don't think anyone's found any Espers yet, but Glue has.
Yeah, so Gollum is like the number one Esper that you want to have to get into Kefka when you do Final Kefka, because that blocks the K3 or the third part of Kefka's auto kill attacks, which is Calmness. And that will actually block the physical damage attack. And it's Leader. Ooh. So
Yep,
Christopher can actually make up with Leader. That's amazing.
That's a pretty good start. I mean, that's probably an enemy you want to fight, like, if you're just starting out. Actually, it's probably an enemy you want to fight anywhere, because it's almost never a problem.
Now, the one problem with this, though, is that we are dealing with mirrored scaling. So that means Steven being level 6, all the enemies they're going to be fighting is also going to be level 6. So now Shadow is technically behind now in that scaling.
We do see Glue going through the Magitech facility. Did he get one of the characters with Magitech skill?
Okay, so on the draftable flag set, that is actually taking out. You actually have to draft that flag in order to get the Magitech facility bonus abilities. They did not pick that flag, so that is beside the point.
So this is
Jax
just getting
out.
Espers. This is just for getting Espers.
Yeah, he's just going to do, on this check for Drink School, he's only going to do Magitech 1 and 2. He's not going to do 3. He's only doing the first 2, and those first 2 are guaranteed to be an Esper or an item. He does not need characters because he already has 4 characters. So he's just looking for Espers. He's currently at 1, I believe. So this could be 2 Espers here to get him up to 3-4 and a big lead over the other 2.
So Jexrock has been sort of following in Glue's footsteps. Did Kalingan and Gao's father's check is going to, however, to Imperial Base and Sealed Gate for Terra's free check-in just to loot out the place. And meanwhile, we do see Christopher Walken doing the Moogle defense since, he already got through Kefka and Narsh.
Yeah, it is that back-to-back. Oh, see, this is what I was worried about. Doing these bosses when you don't have the items and spills like that, and you run into one of the higher-tiered boss fights in the game now, and yeah, this fireball is probably going to hurt the entire over half their health, and he has no damage really to kill Larry here. Meanwhile, Dream Glue is fighting Haydn, but he has the super balls, so he should definitely be able to get through this fight. Especially with the lower scaling, because I think this is only his first or second boss he's actually fought here.
I think this might be his first, because I don't know if I've seen him take any other fights yet.
In Shadow's Vanilla with the fire skin, he takes out that easily, so Drinks Glow is way ahead of the game. Plus, since he fought the boss with all 4 characters are going to stay at the same leveling spree.
Yeah, I think sometimes they get a little bit off, but it's going to be very close and not like a huge difference. And we do see a reset from Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I mean that's just going to happen. He's only got 2 characters. He's only got a couple characters, and he's fighting one of the harder bosses of the game. It was unfortunately bound to happen. Cure 2 learned on Terra there from Gollum, so that's going to be his healing there. Berserk and Warp, so we don't have to worry about Warp Stones now.
The Berserk can also help with Magimaster if we encounter it.
Yeah, exactly. So Berserk allows it so you don't keep changing his shield, so he can cast any magic spell you want on him, and he's pretty weak to that. Jex actually gets to the end of the cave, which would have been my start. It would be a little bit slower start, but you would have gotten all the items you would have purchased the game. Oh goodness gracious, that's Doom.
It's a statue.
Oh, so Shadow and Gao unfortunately get frozen there. But he has super balls, so he's probably going to just throw his balls away for the win here. He has tons of super balls in his inventory.
Yeah, taking advantage of the really cheap shops and the really overpowered items in those shops.
Yeah, overpowered items, overpowered character stats. Super balls is a magic base attack, I believe, so that's going to scale off of that.
Christopher Walken did get through that presenter in the monster in a box. I'm not sure what he got out of that.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. Yep, that's dead.
And the Ifrit Shiva spot, I think, gave Glue the Esper Alexander.
Yep, then that was the Berserk and Warp abilities off that. I mean, you also learned X-Zone and Flare. So X-Zone, Flare, and Cure 2 was on the Gollum Esper, so that's a very juicy Esper. Got another Esper, so now we're at 3 Espers for Dream School. He is way out in front at this point.
I think Did Christopher Walken get that Esper from the Kefka and Narsh fight?
He did, but unfortunately, he did not. Looks like he might have not saved or he didn't start Wolf. So now he's going to go back up the hill again to do these 2 checks again. So I think he might have reset himself completely.
Yeah, that can be.
I was going to say that his tracker is not on his stream, or it's not active, so I wasn't sure, but that's confirmation there. If he's doing Lone Wolf again, then he's doing this again as well.
Okay, so he's doing Terra. So that's actually a quickie check that you can do. Chad is not a good boss you want to see. It is good if you have fire. Drink School is going to get some levels. So this is a free-ish check. It's one of the 2 popular checks you want to do early in the game. If you're doing gated, Gao and Sabin are 2 characters you want to see when you start the game with, because they have 2 checks each that only deal with regular fights, and you get a reward when you get to the end of them. So without having to fight a boss, you get rewards and you get easier enemies that you can actually score a progression with. So
The Chattanooga is not being very friendly to Christopher Walken there.
no, unfortunately, I think Christopher Walken just has to focus on just going for the free checks, going for the Espers, build up a power pool from there, and then start going after some boss fights and like that. Because again, checks don't equal scaling. Only the fights equal scaling. Only what you get for experience equals scaling. So, so that's what you have to focus on. And unfortunately, if you play a lot of Ultras League, you don't do drafting too much, you don't kind of do that slight tweaks to your gameplay, you will get caught out trying to do Ultras League tactics in a non kind of Ultras League kind of run, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other hand, we do see how Glue is handled. This is just going for free checks and easy fights until you, as you said, you have that power base to actually do some crazier stuff.
Yeah. By the way, Techno Remix 99 asks, what does a draft mean? So basically, you can set parameters on our Discord. You can head over there at discord.com/ff6worldscollide. At www.ff6worldscollide.com/discord. I'll say it right eventually. And you can set up what's called a draft room, and you have people join that. And then you can set the parameters of how many picks you want, how many selection or cards do you want per pick. And you build out the seed by taking turns around the room between, in this case, 3 runners. And they get to choose what flags they personally want. In some of the cards, you can counter a pick to override it or just remove it completely, which is called Calmness, thanks to the Kefka 3 fight ability there. So we just call it Calmness. And you can build up your flag set together and maybe pick something that you feel more comfortable with or something you think your opponent might have a harder time with. And it extremely customizes the seed fully. So
we do see Jetsrox being the first to go to World of Ruin, I think, and trying to get the Zone Eater, which is normally a go-go check, but it is a free check.
Yep, so that's a free check. You only need 1 person to run in there, so it's easier to have just 1 person get devoured. It makes it a little faster that way, so you don't have 4 people trying to get demied, which is the only other ability he does. And we got a Yeti in the party now for Drinks Glue.
He's been pulling a lot of characters, and not he still is the lead in Espers, but probably was hoping to get more Espers at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing because Gao is not a strong skill set character for his group. The 2 skill sets he has, and it overrides the fight command. So he can't even just say, I'm going to throw an Illumina on him. He can't even do that. So he's really, the only way you can really grow Gao is by giving him spells to cast, really.
Or if you get lucky, you can get a jump Gao, and that you can actually give him weapons.
Yeah, that'd be the only way for Gao to do it, unless he gets his natural rage ability. And hopefully you get something like Stray Cat, which will allow you to do 4 times the amount of damage on the Cat Scratch ability.
Okay, Christopher Walken has finally gotten out of Narsh and did go check that South Row prisoner for the Golem. So I think all 3 have Golem now.
Yep, and that again is the strongest Esper in for the randomized version of this game. So because that gets rid of that's your calm, what we call calmness protection, which is the instant kill that happens on the Kefka 3 part of the fight out of the 4 parts. Kieran had something too. I didn't see what it was. Drink School did it so fast. He's actually doing, I believe, World of Balance, South River Cave. It's not a free check, but it is a quick heal for the party, and then an immediate fight for an immediate reward. So this is an extremely quick check that he's doing here. And it's he gets the Yeti, now he fights the Yeti for not putting him in the party.
And Jexrock did get through, it looks like did get through the Zone Eater check, but I didn't see what came of it, and is now going to the Massa.
Yep. And unfortunately, we don't have any good attack spells, so like peaky checks like Tower, like Magi Tower, would tell you what the reward, almost what the reward is probably going to be at the bottom of the tower before you go up and do it, and it counts as multiple rewards for that. And unfortunately, we don't have the magic spells to cast because you're forced to use magic only. So that's why our runners haven't gone to that preview. But Jexrock is actually no, he's in World of Balance. So
is it? I'm pretty sure this is. I think this is still World of Ruin.
It's World of Ruin. Thumos.
It's World of Ruin. Okay.
Burning House. Oh, egg.
Oh. Well, I mean that's good and bad. It's good because now he's going to level up his characters, all 4 characters, pretty quickly. It's bad because now you're also leveling up the enemies you're fighting. So if you don't learn the abilities and spells and such to combat these enemies also scaling up with you,
you also have to take the time to. You have to take the time to pass the egg between characters. Otherwise, one is going to get a lot of levels, and that will be very bad for the other 3.
Well, no, he's got 4 eggs, so all the characters.
Oh, he got 4 of them.
Time.
All right.
I'm
just way too used to
2,000 gold.
I'm sorry. I'm just too used to only having 1 egg.
Dream School is going after the Quickie Esper, possible Esper. It is an Esper. Oh, and actually, Vanilla make it Ragnarok. So now we know behind Terra's check, he can actually get a Ragnarok sword, or for one of his other characters. Life 3 and Merton, that's amazing. I don't think we have Merton protection yet. But Dream School is pretty much money right now.
I mean, if he finds flame shields for sale, then he's good to go for Merton.
He's not just good to go for Merton. He's good to go just to fight Kefka like immediately as soon as he gets like 10 Espers. Like if he gets Merton, that's his build. That's it. All done. If he gets those fire shields. But it looks like he's going up to do the Tri-Touch check, which is also a Esper or item. Because he doesn't have 5 characters, he doesn't want to see any more characters. So he's only focusing on checks that specifically give Espers or items. And Jexy gets the Thief at Tizin. It was a little bit cheaper than the other one. The other one was like 42,000. This was 36,000, so he did save a little bit of money there. Ooh, hyper risks, those are okay. Merit awards, so that allows you to have a character use any weapon. So if he finds Illumina Ragnarok, so he can just put in anybody. Oh, and that's a character lock, so
And this is a fairly free check that normally you get for Sabin, the collapsing house, because especially if the timer's not on, because you can just run around, loot the place, and then grab the kit and get out.
Yeah, so again, Sab is one of the best characters to start with the starting party, because not only do you have the camps, which has those natural fights and all, you also have a free check in Falling House, and Falling House also has 2 monster boxes, which Dex is doing each of them to try to get what is called Katana Soul. And the Katana Soul chest gives you Offering, which gives you an item that allows you to attack 4 times. So if you have an item like Sniper, Atma Weapon, or Valiant Knife, that makes that weapon one of the most powerful combos in the game, and you can pretty much solo Kefka like that.
And that dragon that Glue just defeated did in fact give him a flame shield.
Oh my goodness. So that's 1 down. He still needs 3 more items of protection, either Thunder Shields. I think Jex found a Thunder Shield somewhere. So there are at least two portions of columnist protection out of the Merton protection you need out of the 4 warranted. Ultros, that's an easy fight for Drinks Glue.
This is Ultros 2, I believe.
Yes, this is Ultros 2. This is the Opera House Ultros, because it is a pincer fight. Also, getting Locke in the party for Jex, that's easily going to be replacing a Gao if he has a Gao in the team, or if he finds a... he doesn't even find Gao, so this is easily going to make him a little bit better than Drinks Glue, because Locke does have better abilities. Oh, and he has Sword Tech, too. I don't think you were able to learn Sword Tech through... for Dream, you're not going to be able to have that option. But with his experience egg, it's not going to matter because he might be able to get the levels to get there. 10 Espers, no characters needed. I don't know time-wise if he's going to get that high, but it's possible. It's possible he could get to at least tier 7.
Yeah, this is going to kind of come down to, do you want to grind a bit more, or do you think you can just go ahead and take Kefka at some point?
We have Throw on Shadow. Sabin has Magitech. We have a Terra, who's probably one of the stronger characters of the game. And we have a Locke with Sword Tech. We have all the tools we need. We could just focus on just getting our experience from boss fights and maybe a Dragon or so, as Drink School gets another Esper. He got the Esper off of Trichach, which is one of the Espers you want to see for Final Kefka. And he just got another Esper out of the Yeti statue there. We'll see what the fight is, though. It's Welk, which is one of the easier fights in the game. So he'll definitely be able to get to 5 and 7 here. So he's actually 3 Espers away from Luck and Kefka.
Yeah, and as we said, he already has 1 Flame Shield, and he has an Esper that will teach Merton. So there's a way to, that's a strategy for getting through the final Kefka fight fairly quickly.
Right, but he still needs his other characters to have some sort of protection on them.
I mean, if you were in Drink's Clue position right now, would you go around shopping to see if you could find that?
Only if it was in the path of the way I was going. He did get a dragon fight, so he got a levels there and learning there. I mean, I might stop at some place that you can immediately get to the shops, like Jador. I think we've seen Jador there, and that has very quick. That has an armor shop right there at the entrance. So maybe doing Jador World of Balance, Jador World of Ruin, just real quick, because the armor shop's like right there, and that's what you want to look for. And shields are available in the shop, so you could find one there. So
I was going to ask, is Jexrox doing Search the Skies and finding tentacles in the skies?
Yeah, so this actually is a harder fight than normal, but Jex is getting through this easily, because when the tentacles do that wrap on the whole entire party, it turns them all slow, so you could actually get into a situation where the tentacles grab the entire party because they slowed the entire party all at once. As it looks like Christopher Workin's doing the Lone Wolf check again, I believe for the 3rd time here. Oh, and that's a dead check for Jex, unfortunately. That was the Search the Guys check. Force Armor. Okay, yes, meh. That would have been an Esper for him. That was a good try on that one. It's the quickest check you can initiate in the game, so. I don't know if Drake School actually went back to get the Ragnarok sword. Maybe he just doesn't really need it.
Yeah, and we see Christopher Workin go ahead and take on Leader for a 2nd time. On the whole, I probably feel more confident about Glue's strategy so far. I mean, it really has paid off in terms of just how many Espers he has, how many characters, and also just like the open strategy of possibly being able to employ Merton for endgame. So really at this point, it's just a question of where you find those last 3 Espers.
Yeah, I think Dream School's in a better spot to maybe try for... Oh no, so he's going to go Dream. Dream is actually a good one because Dream could yield you 3 Espers. He needs 3 Espers. He's level 29, so he's not too bad on levels. on the
It's-
lower side, but some of the fights he could get to level 36.
And there's
which
only
is on the
two
low end.
bosses here as well. So it's only 2 boss fights for 3 checks.
Right, it's only 2 boss fights or 3 checks, and you get all 3 espers. So he could unlock Kefka in under 30 minutes here.
Of course, Glue knows the routing for getting through this section like optimally.
For Dream.
Yeah.
It's right until you get the second triplet, and then it's left. That's how you remember it, and that's a toilet Atma. This might be a little hard fight, depending on the scaling and what abilities you're going to use here. Can be tricky.
Well, Flare should help because it is non-elemental, so you don't have to worry about accidentally healing it.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is what abilities that Atma can use. Because Atma can use any spell in the game, literally, including Fallen One, Ultima, those kind of things. So you have to be careful.
It should only be scaled to 29 at this point, though, right?
Right. So far, he hasn't even had a chance to act, so I think he just killed it without even having a chance to even use a fight command. Okay, all he did was punch. Okay, quarter, that's gonna... Okay, only affected Gao, that wasn't too bad.
Jexrock is doing that same dragon fight that we saw earlier in Narsh.
Correct.
And Christopher Walken is going around looting Albrecht, it looks like. Or Albrook.
Yep, Albrook, that's a World of Balance version, which means that the mech is blocking your deck, the path to get to the docks there, rather. I prefer, that's actually one of my first stops when I play Ultra Sleep, because you get the extra check of the dock, and you get a couple of chests that are actually inside the shops you want to go to anyways. So, yeah, not too bad.
And Christopher Walken is going to go do Magitech facility, it looks like.
So, Techno Remix, laughing at Toilet Atma. Yeah, we call him Toilet Atma because he's actually located in the prison cell that Kefka was in, and where there's a toilet there. So that's how we attribute the difference between Atma weapon versus Atma, which is Toilet Atma, because he's inside a toilet room.
Was that an economizer that Glue just picked up from the train?
I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
I missed it too, but I think economizer sounds about right. It wasn't.
that would
It wasn't
definitely
an.
help
It was not an Esper at least.
Oh, Enhancer. Somebody said it was an Enhancer.
Enhancer, okay. Begins with
Okay.
E, ends with ER. I was close.
Starts with an
I
E
don't think
and
you-
ends
I-
with an R.
Yeah, I don't think an enhancer is not a high tier item, although it is a nice sword.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it must have been an economizer.
yeah, I mean, Enhancer, it is a stat stick. It gives you that big boost of magic power. So it can be very helpful for your caster, especially with Terra. Looks like Locke is swinging the Ragnarok for Jexi. So a little bit faster command with some modest damage there. Workin's going through a Magitech facility, so he's going to get 2 Espers, I believe, from these checks.
Yeah, I think that's what we saw Glue do.
Jexi got his 4th Esper. Glue is still running through.
Yeah, Jex is going to go for the Yeti check, right?
Yeah, which is another Esper. So he'll get 5 Espers off this. Dream School still has 2 more potential Espers he can get because that is not a character. Okay, Dullahan. Ooh,
What's
Gal's
your
almost
opinion
dead.
for Dullahan as a boss you want to fight? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's easy. It's fine. Doesn't do anything crazy. Just has that one opening move. And oh, there is our Katana Soul that we've been looking for Jexi. So I don't think he has a weapon to match with it yet.
That's
It's a
sketchy.
great sketch command. Oh, but doesn't get the roll for it though. Sketch, control, and muddle is what you want to use on Katana Soul. which allows him to basically kill himself with Slayer Edge. Let's see if we try again. Yep, there it is.
Go.
Slayer Edge. Great use of commands there for Jexy.
Yeah, it turns out the gal is paid off after all.
Yeah, I mean that's basically his whole game right there. Gal's biggest moment. And Drink School gets that fight. Yeah, as you were saying about Drink School fight, it's fine. I mean, he has that opening Scar Beam kind of attack or Pearl, but after that, the rest of the fight's not that bad.
So Ragnarok Esper.
Oh, that's 8. He still has one more, so he can go back to the throne room to get another check after this. So this could be Esper number 9, which means he only needs one more. Yes, that's number 9. So he can go to Moblez or Magic Master Tower, I would say, in this situation, because you can preview both and see what both of them are. He has enough magic spells now to get through Magic Tower, and he can do a dragon for some levels on the way up.
Yeah, so he right now might want to just do peekable checks to see if it's like not really interested in characters, and more interested in getting that 10th Esper.
Wait, was that a 100 times learnable skill? I didn't know you could go that high. No, it couldn't have been.
I think the highest I've ever seen is 20.
Yeah, I thought 20 was the highest. That was weird. I thought I saw 100. I was like, what? Must have been 10. I was just seeing things. Okay, so he's not going to do either of those. He's going to go to World of Balance here. Oh, he's going to do Leader. So Leader could be a character, though. It is a fast check, but it could be a character. He didn't save, so he's committed now to this. It's not a character.
That's good news.
Okay, so he's going to do some random fights to get a little... Oh, goodness. Okay, he was going to do random fights, but now he's not.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see here. And Christopher Walken is doing the second half of Magitech facility. Or actually, no, he's just reached the discount Magic Master, which is actually a Doom. And meanwhile, we do see that at the leader spot is Ifrit and Shiva. Yeah, this is not going to be a problem.
Yeah, even the thing is with the transcendent characters with the 140 to 200%, plus if you got any magic power from Esper learning, I mean, even Ice 2 is going to do a lot of scale damage. I mean, it's doing like almost 8,000 damage just with Ice 2. So
yeah, generally, Ifrit and Shiva are not a scary boss if you have their elemental weaknesses already learned.
Oh, it's a dead check. So he has to do one of the other checks I mentioned before. Okay, nope. He's going.
Is he trying to do a Veld?
No. I think he's shopping for Martin protection, and there's none there. Vix Dice is interesting, but not needed. Looks like Christopher Walken did finally find the Super Ball, so now the seed got a lot easier for them. Is able to get through that Doom fight with the Super Ball, so that was awesome.
I think we're seeing Serpent Trench. Yep, Serpent Trench on Jack's Frock. He found Minerva's there.
I'm sorry, I keep walking away. I am watching my 4-year-old by myself.
No, it's all right. But yeah, Drinksflu, I think, found Minerva's at a shop.
Okay, that would definitely be the Merton protection. It depends on how many of them can equip it, though. Looks like everybody but Gao. So that's fine, because we can put the Fire Shield on Gao. And we have our Merton protection. So now this is a Merton Seed for Drinks Glow. He basically can beat the whole entire game. 33 minutes in. It's a little bit longer than I thought it would be, because he could not find that 10th Esper. But we're getting there.
Going back to Narsh, possibly to pick up some of the other checks that he left behind early.
Yeah, so this could be the rag.
Okay, and we do see Christopher Walken actually doing the back half of Magitech Facility instead of warping out. So I think Drinksloo did warp out, so this will be a slightly different thing. Something new.
It is something new, but unfortunately you have to fight 2 bosses just to get one reward, and that one reward might be a character, which you don't want to see in this situation, which is why Dreamschool did not do it.
Yeah.
But Jixfarok is going to do Serpenttrance, that is Yeti. Drinkskool is doing the Chad at the Wilt check, so that's going to be easy fight because he has plenty of fire damage. He's also going to get a Ragnarok behind this on top of this. I don't remember what the reward was, though.
But yeah, we're basically just waiting, trying to figure out where Glue is going to get that final Esper from. And I think Kefka and Narsh does have an Esper. I don't know if Glue is going to want to go and try that, but that could be his 10th Esper.
Yeah, if I was him, I would go for my peekable checks. So maybe Phantom Train or Velt Cave or Daryl's Tomb. You know, those are probably your fastest peekables you've got left. Maybe Esper Mountain is also a really fast one. So we'll see what he decides, because I believe that this is a dead check here at Welk, right? That's what Chad was.
We'll see shortly. Gembox, yeah.
And he's going to go pick up the Ragnarok. So if you the item that you don't choose at the Narsh Weapon Shop will be in those Moogle mines back there. And it looks like he's not going to head up and continue on to Kefka at Narsh. Don't blame him there. It's a bit more of a walk, and if that's a character up there, you've just wasted even more time. Inferno is the first of 2 bosses there for Mr. Workin at the end of this minecart ride. So this will be either a character or an Esper at the end of the Magitech factory. It's guaranteed progression.
And Jex Rock is also in Vector, so might be doing Magitech Facility shortly as well.
Yeah, he is our first runner to have 6 characters, actually. And 6 is sort of the magic number in Kefka's Tower, right? Because that allows you to have 2 characters per party in the 3-party system. 7 is ideal, because then you could have 3 Moogle meat shields on each lane. But yeah. So even though Drinks Glue is definitely ahead progression-wise, Jexferox's levels are probably about the same. And that was another character, right?
Yeah, that was Cyan.
Cyan, you're at the wrong castle, buddy. Go home.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back. Wife came home. Yeah, so Drinks Glue's still trying for those free quickies. Unfortunately, he's just picking dead checks and characters. But we're narrowing it down. We're narrowing down the field. I guess he's looking for Train. So Train is peekable. Would have done this earlier, though.
Did Glue check out the Tizen Thief, and do we already know what that is?
Yes, that was an Esper. He paid the full price, 47, but Jixer Christopher Workin paid 37, so a little bit cheaper.
And we did see that at the end of Magitech Facility is Celeste.
Oh, so Celeste was at the end of her own check. That's cool.
But it also does mean that whole back half of Magitech Facility did not pay off for Christopher Walken.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does have 5 characters now, so kind of needed that extra character. It's Realm.
He only had 3.
Well, Realm would have been nice earlier in the game, because she did have natural magic as part of this drafting flag set, but at this point, we don't really want her. Although she could have, she could come with, 100 magic power, though. So it still would have been nice.
Yeah, but at this point, are you going to want to do an entire check just for a character you don't need?
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that.
Here's another peekable one, right? Esper, or actually, this one's not peekable. It's the Veld Cave that's peekable.
Drink School, this is peekable because you do see the NPC or character run out on the realm part. So this is a possible Esper or dead check.
It's
But
fairly quick to get
this
to
is
the
going to be very
boss fight.
promising because we already did so many dead checks already. So yeah.
It's goddess.
Oh goodness, my goddess!
Yeah, and there we see the Merton coming out.
Yep. So again, Terra, Shadow, and Sabin all have Minervas. Gao actually benefiting from having the fire shield because while the Minervas give 0 damage, Gao actually heals himself for like 4,000, 5,000, for 3,000 to 4,000 health. So
Yeah, and as long as the boss you're fighting can't absorb those elements, you're good to go with that.
yep. Kapow kapow. Oh, both Jexy and drinks. So hopefully this will be Kefka Unlocked for Drink School. It'll be at the 40th minute here. Here
Yep.
it is. And he's in go mode. Like, he doesn't have to do anything else.
Yeah, he's already got Merton up and running. He's got his 10 espers. He's got 6 people that he can use to, navigate the tower. So he's good to go.
And even then, like, he's still level 38. Jex Varrock with the experience egg is only level 32. So he's still, like, 6 levels ahead of Jex on top of everything else that's been done. So the experience eggs didn't really come into play after all.
And we've seen 2 out of 3 of the statues. We haven't seen Guardian yet. We haven't seen Magimaster yet. So there's still some potential for some interesting fights up ahead. But there's, Merton's going to, be fairly useful. I think
like, very few things are, like, absorb wind and fire. I mean, except for, like, Infrared and Inferno come to mind, and we've already seen one of them.
And would spicy chicken present a problem?
Spicy chicken would, but we do have other options like flare, ice too. Don't know if we were in bio or not. So that should be easy and fun.
But yeah, Glue has divided the party to hit all 3 at once, so just has to go through the tower once.
Yeah, so unfortunately on this drafting set, there is no shortcut. So our runners will have to run the entire leg of the Kefka's Tower here. So that means they will have to do the Inferno drop-down fight, which is on the right lane side. They will have to do that extra fight there.
And so there's the question of what boss might you fight at the ambush.
Yes. So they will have to do the extra fight there, which gives them a little bit more levels. So whoever's on the right lane will be higher level than the other two runners or 2 characters, which will put them. Well, it doesn't really matter because I believe Kefka's level 70 anyways, regardless of what the flags are. So that part really doesn't matter. It only matters for the boss fight, the statue fights, really. So the most, I guess you could say, efficient way is when you get to the first set of switches is to have the other 2 sides fight first. Because if you have the middle side fight, you're actually going to increase the scaling more for the single character parties that are running through. So
as long as you don't end up extremely lopsided, it should still be manageable, though.
Yeah, it should be manageable. I mean, especially when usually you, well, at least for me, I put my strongest and my weakest characters, or my 2 strongest characters in the side parties, and have my 2 weakest ones together in the double lane, because that way they can help each other. Because the strongest characters in the game should be easily be able to solo a boss, unless it's like Doomgaze or something like that. Then it'll be a little tricky.
We do have SR Behemoth, it looks like, at the ambush spot.
Yep, and he's actually weak to fire, so this Merton spam is going to be perfect for this. Since we're running Ultras League Season 4 base, you can't just use a Revivify to kill him.
The X-Zone missed, unfortunately.
I know X-Zone, he's just being fancy with this. All he needs to do is just cast Merton. He's just being fancy. I mean, doing this.
You got it that time. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, but he would have killed him in like the 2 Merton casts anyway, so...
Want to point out that Workin did steal 2, not just 1, 2 Minervas from Pugs there.
Ooh, okay.
Box fight. Very nice.
Yeah, that is very nice for him.
Save about $4,000.
Yeah. I mean, Minervas are cheap, unfortunately, so... But still, not having to go look for them... And if he has a Merton Esper, that he'll have a lot of protection already. So
weren't they in like World of Balanced Mobliz or some crazy place like that? Who?
Yeah, I think it was. He kind of ran off the.
Who goes there?
And nobody's gonna go there. But that was that part I was mentioning that just finding a place for that Merton protection. And he just happened to pick Noblez to go there. So I would have picked Jador because they're almost in the same location on both sides of the world. And both armor shops are immediately right there. So I would have gone to those first.
And Glue has got all parties at switches now.
Almost. The first set of switches. Still have not seen Doomgaze or Spicy Chicken. Doomgaze should be fine because we have Merton. Spicy Chicken might be a little difficulty. I've not seen anybody learn Stop. And, oh no. Christopher Work and Shadow just cast a flare on themselves. That's rough. And it looks like the ladies are swinging enhancers. Always love seeing Celeste.
Okay, let's see what the statues are.
Yep, so he is going to do the most efficient thing to do is to do the side ones first. So, okay. Inferno Jr., this should be an easy fight, especially we have a Bolt 2 or 3, but now we're just going to Merton. And unfortunately, Yeti's going to die here. This going to be, unfortunately, one cooked Yeti.
I'm sure that's a price that Glue is willing to pay.
Yeah, some of you may die. Jexrock is slowly catching up. They're at 8 Espers, 6 characters. Workin's still making his way through the camp. Okay, so Jex is actually doing Cave of the Velt, so we have not seen this one. This is actually peekable.
Yeah. I do think, like, overall, the difference between the 3 runners has to do a lot with that early game, because we did see Glue just right out of the gate go and grab, like, all the free checks that he could, whereas the other 2 stuck around in Arch for a bit longer.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying before. Like, you could do all the free checks you want. It was not going to affect scaling. It's only going to help you because that's going to give you the offense you need to get through the early parts of the game, especially getting the super balls like that. So as soon as you learn those spells, you learn like a whole bunch of magic by level 10. You basically unlock the entire scene and you're good to go. And that's what Drinks Glue did.
Goddess is just Narapa, so no problem there.
No problem there. We're just going to X-zone this really quick. Merton's not... This is actually one that Merton's not going to work on because I believe he absorbs fire damage. But X-zone immediately kills him, so GG.
And Jexrock is doing the World of Ruin Moblez check, which is the Funaba fight, I think.
Yeah, this is a Pumbaba fight. The positive part is you are going to learn if it's an Esper character. It is an Esper. It's Crusader. The negative part of this, unfortunately, is you're going to be stuck with 2 random characters unless you kill off a character in your party. And if anybody in your party is dead, it will sneeze that person first.
I think this is Ultros 4 at Guardian spot.
Yep, so Ultras 4, unfortunately, this will not give any experience. Merton's not going to work in this situation either. Because we do have Chupon, who absorbs fire, so we want to use ice here.
I mean, it was a nice opener, but after that...
Shadow throwing Excalibur, that's a...
I mean...
That's a little fancy.
There's the sneeze.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no experience or magic points gained in this fight, so... no advancement for these 2, but they'd already had the extra fight before, so this should be staying on the level curve.
Yeah, it's not going to affect the scaling at all, so...
Jex is doing that first part of the Pumbaba. We'll see who gets sneezed off. Sabin and
Armor.
Terra. Probably the worst two that could have gotten sneeze for Jex.
That's probably the least threatening poltergeist statue I've seen.
Yeah, so Tonal Armor is probably the second weakest boss in the game. Is that who I think it is?
It might be.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Worst possible scenario for Jex. Getting a Magimaster after the first part of Pumbaba. So now he has to fight Magimaster with only 2 characters, and it's probably the 2 characters that did not learn to Berserk.
Christopher Walken does look like he's going for more of the Ghost Train. Did pick up Realm.
Realm with Blitz and Natural Magic.
Yep, so... Well, and she probably has ridiculous magic power, which both of those go hand in hand with. Doesn't really need it again, but could be fun.
And Glue is going into the final Kefka fight.
So Realm came into the party with 76 magic power base.
That could probably hurt some stuff.
Yeah, that's insane amount. But Drinks Glue's on the switches, 50 minutes in. I'm going to give a quick shout out to the 51 people we got watching the stream. You are on SpeedGaming 3, the home for randomized racing. You're watching Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Randomizer. We are in a giraffe race where these 3 got to pick the flags they wanted to play, and they picked their own torture. Was kind of an easy set of flags they picked for themselves, so definitely way ahead of time here.
Yeah, so we see the Merton strats coming out, just going to go ahead and plow through the early tiers. Probably have to come up with something slightly different for tier 3.
Yep, so we're on tier 1. Tier 1 is pretty decently easy fight of the 4. Merton works very, very well. However, you want to be a little cautious because Head does have more HP than the short arm, which is the fist. You don't want to leave Head up last to die. So you want to be able to kill long arm, Head, and then fist. Long arm can instantly be killed by petrification or instant death. Head is weak to fire, so that's why you see a lot of fire magic coming out from everybody right now. And you want to kill short arm last, because if you kill Head last, he counters with Quake, which pretty much will almost kill the entire party.
Jaxrock looks like, I think this is Doma Defense.
Yeah, so Doma Defense, I believe this was a dead check.
I'm just going straight into the fight. Just an E-free. Should be a simple fight, but if it's
so
dead,
this is
then
the Infrared fight. It's going to be a dead reward, unfortunately, on the backside. So he's still going to be looking for a 10th Esper.
okay, we do see tier 2 coming out for Glue. This has got 4 parts to it. Tiger is weak to ice, can do some nasty stuff. Tools in the center is vulnerable to instant death and lightning. The magic in the back is probably the more annoying one, so if you have mute, better use it. And then hit at the front does 10 hits as a final counter.
And also 10 also hits is weak to stop, by the way. So stunner from the sword tech, or just straight up stop, or I believe it's striker, I think it is, that the weapon can cast stop. So those kind of things will actually just hold hits there, so they don't really do anything.
And
we
of
do
course,
have Siren available. We do have X Zone, but we're not using any of those. We're just plowing through it with Burton, it looks like.
Yep, like if you got it, you might as well use it.
I mean, this can be dangerous because if magic dies before hits, you could get in a situation where magic quarters the entire party and then hits comes in afterwards and hits the party when they've already been quartered. So that is the potential danger by Mertoning everything here. So might want to slow down a little bit here.
So the Phantom Train boss is Air Force.
Okay, this is the realm, so we already know what our reward is for here. Jex Frox is fighting the Yeti. Believe this is a dead check still. Or it might be a character, I can't remember which.
Looks like Sabin got muted.
It's annoying, but Sabin does still have Magitech, so he can still cast tier 2
Throw the
quote-unquote
enhancer.
magic,
Here
so
comes
it's
out
not
some
horrible.
quarter. Only one person got hit by quarter, I think Terra.
Yep,
And
so
that-
Terra get hit by quarter. Magic is dead, I believe. We don't hear the audio, so I'm just guessing.
Christopher Walken taking the walk to go do Baron Falls now.
Oh, that was an Esper for Jax, so he has Kefka unlock.
I don't know if Jax Rock found all of the Merton protection that Glue did, so I'm not sure if we're going to see the same strats.
No, probably not. But he does have a better combatant with lock over. Well, no, he does have Gao in the party too. Did kick Gao. Kind of surprised he kept Gao in over Shadow, because Shadow has a vanilla throw. A little surprised at that, but it's
Blue's
fine.
on tier 3. Here we have Girl and Sleep, I believe. Girl heals, but is very absorbs all elementals, but is otherwise weak. And Sleep is the guy who's going to be throwing calmness at the party.
Yeah, so this is really the part of the fight of Kefka's Climb that most people get set back to the start on, because if you mistime Sleep's health, basically the more and more damage you do to Sleep, the more agitated he gets. The girl is down, by the way. She only has 9,999 HP. So now it's all about ticking down Sleep. I believe 2 Mertens, maybe 2.5 Mertens basically is what we want to do. And then we want to Golem up after that. Oh, we got a counter from Interceptor, which I believe doesn't work because we're floating, believe it or not. Okay, so that we are in the zone now. So now we need to cast Golem here.
Yeah, I think
If we equipped it.
throw in a barter seed is not exactly ideal, right? Because normally you buy those super cheap shurikens. So it makes sense.
No.
We have Meridio coming out.
He never equipped Golem. Oh no.
So he's probably going to, unless he has some other way to calmness
Unless
protect.
Sabin has it, because Sabin's been muted the whole time. So now he's unmuting Sabin to see if Sabin has the Golem. But now he's in a Meteor hole, so he's got to heal up. He's got to fight off. Yeah,
Here
there's
it
the
is.
Golem. Okay, you got it up, so now we can Merton right after it. We are probably going to get another Meteor possibly here.
Or
Before
train.
Merton goes off. Okay, Merton does get off, so we do have a dead sleep. We have Golem up, so we should be able to get through this. Yeah,
I did
we're
not
good.
see the. We did see Baron Falls on Christopher Walken's side, but unfortunately was distracted by Glue's not getting Golem out so quickly that I'd missed most of what happened there.
It was an Esper.
Okay, so that's good.
And now we have the final Kefka fight. Kefka's going to descend from the heavens as the god of magic. And it's a pretty easily AI fight. Depending on how much damage you do, if you do a crap ton of damage early on, which we do have the ability to, we could skip his Fallen One ability, which is the first ability he uses. That knocks everybody down to 1 HP. We did not fight, Glue did not fight Magimaster, so I do not think he has a Mega Elixir to heal everybody back up again. But if he gets all these Mertens out fast enough, I don't think we have to worry about that part, and he should probably go right straight into his charge of ability, which is Goner. So, I mean, all we gotta do is just spur Merton on everybody, and it's GG, and I don't think Kefka's even gonna get off ability for this. That's 4 out there, so I think is going to charge up Goner now. Yep, there's the Goner charge up like I just said. So now just about 2 or 3 more Mertens, and should be GG here. Oh, he's doing the fancy... Oh, he didn't get the Ultima. He tried to sketch Kefka for Ultima as a little fancy pants dance, but wasn't successful on that, unfortunately. This is a lot of Mertens. I think that's GG right there. No, he got Gonerov. I am surprised. I think if he didn't try to go for a Sketch Ultima, he probably would have had the damage to kill him. He's probably only got a couple thousand left.
And I think he did use a Flame Shield as an item, so that will come out and probably be GG.
Yeah, that's going to be GG, because that's going to be quad 9s, and that's going to be Kapow. Yep, 59-30.
GG to Drinks Glue. And we do see Jex Rocks also, I think, in the SR Behemoth fight now.
Yep, so they're in the Kefka's Tower, going through there. There's that offering that he found earlier on from Gao being able to kill Katana Soul, and we want to pair that with one of the weapons he has, which is Atma Weapon, which is going to be allowed to swing that sword for 4 times of 4,000 damage each, which is gets over that quad 9 cap. And we are joined on the channel by the dog, Drinks Glue. GG, bro.
Good evening, bro. What's the mood, my dog?
Yo, sub 1 hour, as we predicted before the race.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've started this new thing where I don't keep track of my time while I play. I just think it's better for you in the long run, because if you are struggling, or if you look at a timer and you try to gauge that where you are, it doesn't give you a good idea. All you can do is play what the game is giving you. So I kind of stopped spending my time. But I knew I was like around 50-ish minutes when I started Kefka. So I figured it was possible when I started my final fight, but I wasn't in the back of my mind. But I see my time now. I saw my time I put in the chat. It's like 59-30-ish. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
59-30 even.
And I think you sort of gave a clinic on how to run this particular flag set, because right after leaving Marsh, you immediately just went for like all the free checks you could possibly get.
Yeah, it didn't matter. The scaling was your party highest level, or the party member with the highest level. So it didn't matter if you had 1 Esper or 12 Espers. The scaling was going to be the same. So I didn't do all the free checks because it takes too long to get through Sealed Gate. It kind of takes a little bit of a time to get through the Figaro Castle. But I did the one with shops, so I did Collagen, which is Setzers, so you could shop while you're there, and then obviously Shadows, there's an item shop, would happen to have some Super Balls, which got me through first 2-part of Magic Tech. So with this particular flag, the way it's shaped out, don't want to do all the free checks, because with bartering shops, you really want to hit shops. You want to visit as many shops as possible as quickly, because if you open 10 chests, opening 10 chests is the same as going to an item in a weapon shop, because there's about 5 items on each, and then all you can do is just pick all the ones you want. There's no point in opening chests. There's better value in shops. So
in the checks you did push that were not free checks, like you did the first 2 parts of Magic Tech Facility and backed out. Mm-hmm. You did the all 3 checks of the Doma Castle Dream. You got 2 out of the 3 Espers possible for that. I mean, you did push the right checks where you needed to go.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward at the end because I needed 1 more Esper.
Yeah.
And it took me like 5 or 6 checks to get it. So that's kind of the downside to doing that, is that if you use all the good ones early, you kind of have to not do the not so good ones later, or the not ideal ones. But ultimately I found it, and I was still able to get under an hour, which is awesome. Which is all you can ask for.
Yeah, you were in the 30th minute, I believe, when you're trying to go for the last Esper, and it took you like 12 minutes to find that last one. So it did take a little bit, but not too bad. Did you ever thought about going after Magi Tower, or was that too long?
No, it takes too long. If you need 10 Espers, you can easily get that in 30 minutes. So if you break that down, that's 3 Espers every 10 minutes. Fanatics Tower alone is going to take you 7 minutes. So if you go around elsewhere, you can get better value. You can get better value for your time, or better return for your time.
And I mean, you avoided everything right. I mean, you didn't do Terra's Esper Mountain, which was a dead check. You didn't do the 3rd part of Magi Tech Facility, which was Celeste. You did avoid all the little pitfalls there too. So
yeah, You doing the end of Magitech also kind of falls in the Fanatics. The first two parts of Magitech are so fast, and then the last one, it's guaranteed progression, but for when you just need 10 espers, the amount of time it's going to take you is about 5 minutes from when you finish that Doom fight and then get through the cart and get through the two preceding boss battles. That's a lot of time to commit to when it's not what you need. Plus, you just push the scaling up really high.
Is
Party
that the
high-
same like reason why you skipped Fluid Continent? Just it's too much time for what you get out of it?
Yeah, because it's guaranteed progression. Normally, that's fantastic, but guaranteed progression also means if it's a character that does you no good. I was perfectly fine once I found Gao. If I never found another character, I would have been fine going to the going through the entire thing with 3 characters because there's enough out there to find to possibly just do get through with 3 characters. Things really ramped up for me at the end because I had Merton and I was just sitting on the 1 flame shield. So in flags like free shops and barter shops, the quickest possible way to do 2 back-to-back shops real fast is Mobliz and the Masa. Mobliz had fixed eyes, which is cool, but nobody could wear it. Plus, I was at the point in time where it didn't really need it, but then the Masa had the Minervas. You don't really
That
need
was
to pick them up.
huge.
Yeah, that was awesome because that saved me from having to cast Flare 100 times, which obviously is a huge time save.
And Gal was the only one that couldn't wear it, and you still had flame
Yeah, I still had the
shields,
flame
so
shield.
it worked out.
Yeah, so Terra could wear the Minerva, and then luckily the 2 other dudes, Shadow and Saban could. Honestly, if they couldn't, like say Cyan could, I probably would just put Cyan in and just let it's 1 person, I don't know who, but just because Merton would have been that much of a time save. But that's what I was actually hoping for more of an elemental shield or another high tier weapon because I was gonna have Terra swing the Ragnarok, but once I found those Minervas, Merton was gonna be faster than anything she could do with a sword.
What, quad nines wasn't good enough right now? I mean,
Well, you can do quad nines with the swing of the sword, or you can do quad nines to everything on the screen.
I think Jexrox did find the Katana Soul for the offering, but that seems like it'd be searching a lot of monsters in the boxes when you already had the Minervas and Mertens.
Yeah. There's 11 monster in boxes in the game, and there's only 3, maybe 4 of them. Sometimes you don't mind the Hyperus, but if you're doing it just to hunt for offerings, you have a 1 in 11 chance, and a 1 in 10 chance, and a 1 in 9 chance, and a 1 in 8 chance, and it just keeps going, and it adds up over time. And I personally don't like to do it unless I have the God tier set up for it, which is a Experience Egg plus 100 HP Esper and a Valiant Knife.
So if you don't mind, could you sort of just if you remember to talk us through like what kind of things you were looking for when the draft picks were being made?
I was looking to blow through that 100k as quickly as possible and just start doing stuff. I found the earrings and Atlas Armlets in Narsh. I didn't find much else, and then I think there were some red caps in either Figaro or Collagen. And then the 5 Super Balls. The Super Balls are going to scale off really fast because once you did 1 or 2 bosses, you're going to be level 15 to 20-ish. And that's about 1 Super Balls you can't really use anymore. So having...
I was going to say, I think the question was with respect to the actual draft process. Like, what kind of cards were you
I was just looking to
for,
mess
things
up.
like
I
that?
was looking to ruin Jexbox this evening.
if those who don't know, Jexy is the draft master of our community. He loves going to the draft races. And really quick, and I'm going to derail this for a quick second. Somebody's asking about learning the randomizer and trying to do the randomizer. We do have a Moogle's First Seed with an accompanying video that can help teach you how to do the randomizer for this. And we also have a mentoring program, which we're just starting up, along with maybe a Moogle's First tournament that you can actually help you learn how to do this randomizer. It's really fun, and it's really easy to learn, really. All you got to do is remember where the character's most important moments were in the game, and that's usually where the checks are. So, just wanted to answer that question really quick.
You did a great job. Great answer.
Thank you.
And I think also, don't we have like a mentoring program?
Yep, so we have a mentoring program that just started up. You can basically have I guess you can say a pro runner and a pro dog in our community. You can ask for help and you can get, I guess you could say, adopted by a mentor, and they can help teach you the game side by side and learn how to run. And this, I will say that this race in particular, this is not a good example of a normal run. This was, again, a drafted run. This was a very strong, very easy flag set. It could trip you up with the whole like mirror scaling, which is level of characteristics, level of the fights you're doing, and also the open world. That can trip up people a little bit, make this a little faster than usual. But yeah.
Yeah, and as far as the draft itself went, each of the players got 6 picks, I think, so there was a total of 18 picks. And looking at it at the end of it, I think like half of the picks got canceled by later picks. So that's just kind of how the draft goes, is especially when you've got competing columnists to cancel out earlier picks.
Yeah, the whole like no white magic and having Strago with health as the only possible healing option for the entire game set. That would have been interesting deal. I agree with Schwans that before he went on air with that. But they were calling this out, which is fine.
You don't need healing in Final Fantasy 6. You're fine. You need healing. You need healing in Final Fantasy 4, but not Final Fantasy 6.
Heck, you can just heal with Merton with fire shields. You don't need anything else.
Healing is a crutch of the weak.
Oh.
Where is Jaxrox at? Is he? He's got
Tier
healing.
3.
You can view the channel if you want. I mean, just
I'm gonna
click
load
view.
the stream.
Yeah, he's at tier 3 of Final Kefka.
Yep, just
Oh,
started tier
very good.
3. He's at 111.23 in. Christopher Workin, don't really have a proper tracker on him. We believe he's 7S or 7 characters. He's just doing the World of Ruin Nourish Lock Esper check. So he just got we believe his 8th Esper just now.
He's coming along. He'll get there. Christopher Workin, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is part of our mentor program, and he's coming along pretty well. When he started, he was doing like 3-hour seeds, and now he's down to consistently getting around 1 minute 40-ish, 1 minute 50 seconds. He's been working with I Am Gar a lot. Shout out to I Am Gar. If you like floating cheeseburgers, you will love his stream. Plus, he's a pretty good role-play player as well.
Yeah, Christopher Workin got a little tripped up by the mirror scaling and was applying a lot of Ultra League tactics, because that's the base learning of this game. People learn Ultra League, which is kind of universally accepted as the standard flag set of our community, give or take. So he was applying a lot of those logics to this seed, and it kind of hurt him a little bit. He unfortunately did Narsh World of Balance 3 times, I believe.
Yeah,
because he got stuck behind 3 Stoogers a lot.
Yeah, I think the 3 Stooges were the Mughal defense, and he ended up wiping there at some point.
Kefka and Narsh, but yeah, I mean.
Well, I thought he got through Kefka and Narsh because Kefka and Narsh was leader, and then he immediately went into Mughal defense without saving, and Mughal defense was Stooges, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was Stooges, unfortunately. He did not save before going there, so he had to redo Narsh all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Jexrock is now at the final Kefka tier 4.
Yep. He did not find Merton. He's pretty much his best spell is Flare, because nobody found Ice Fire Bolt 3. So pretty much it's just Merton. It's just Meteor and Flare. Those are the only 2 spells he has at disposal.
And since this was based on Ultra League 4, there's no ultimate, correct?
No, there is a card called Big Blue where you can get Ultima re-enabled for the 254 MB cost in the draft, but it is by default in the flag set to off.
Yep. Yeah, but he did find Locke with a sword tech. He also found experience eggs, which he bought 4. Experience eggs were for sale.
Oh, where
That's GG.
And GG for Jexy, 114.04. So like I said, he did find experience eggs for sale, so he applied experience egg to every single member of his party.
Well, that's smart because if player highest or the highest party member, if you put it on one person's gonna get way up there, and the rest of them are gonna fall behind and not be able to do anything. So kudos. Typically, you don't want to do that, but kudos.
And on that note, we are joined in the booth with Sexy Jexy Varrock. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, GG's.
Yeah, we're just talking about your experience egg find that you got there. Now, how does that affect mirror matching? Because mirror, the highest level character of your party matches the enemy you're fighting. Does that help or hurt when you have all the characters in your party having experience egg?
It's kind of neutral because all my party is the same level. Well, minus Sabin eating dirt on the tentacle fight. But no, it's not that much of an effect. I mean, like mid game, you could tell that it did have a mild effect. Like when I fought Chatternook, the fight took a little bit longer than it probably should have. Especially since I wasn't packing any more pro. Yeah, I already wasted all my pro rods at that point. But because I had that Atma weapon, I'm just like, let's yeah, we're gonna abuse this as best we can.
I also noticed that you kept Gao cook out Shadow with throw. Why was that?
Yao has 74 magic.
Okay, fair enough.
Is
Yeah.
74 a lot in your opinion?
Yes. Especially starting right out of the gate, that's excessive.
Interesting.
Realm had starting 76, I think.
Yeah,
And natural magic too, by the way.
I
nice.
did not find Realm.
She was Phantom Train, but I didn't get her. I found her, but I didn't get her.
Okay.
Yeah, he was already at 6 characters when he saw Realm trying to go through the free checks to try to, or peekable checks to try to get his 10th.
So supposedly, I wasn't keeping track of my time, but supposedly I needed one more Esper before 30 minutes somehow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you were at 29:30 when you were doing about to finish a check for your 10th possible Esper, and it was a dead check, I believe. So you could have unlocked Kefka's Tower in under 30 minutes, which was possible. I did predict that was possible, and you almost proved it right. So
Yeah, that was the one trouble I was having, finding Espers when I needed to. I mean, like I was doing the peekable checks. It's just like, oh, great. There's Edgar. And Kefka at Narsh, I skip Kefka at Narsh because every single time I do it, it turns out to be a dead check.
Was Kefka at Narsh dead?
I think it was an Esper this time because I think Christopher Walken.
Yeah, because he did
Figures.
the y'all said.
The one time
yes, it was
skip
Bismarck, actually.
Nice.
the one time I skip, it's an Esper. Every other time, Force Armor, Flame Shield, yeah. Kefka at Narsh has turned into my Bane check, unless there's a visible character there.
Well, Flame Shield would have been amazing for this seed because Dream School was able to find Merton and 3 Minervas, wearable Minervas with a Flame Shield on top of that. So
I did
all these
find
characters
one.
had Merton. Yes, you did find one. But he did find Minervas in, I believe, was an off-the-wall location, actually.
It was wall to balance the Masa because
Yeah,
I did
we'll
the
balance the Masa.
Masa combo.
Nice. Yeah, once I mean, like, character speed was high right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Once I hit tier 3 or tier 2 Kefka, and I put up Taste 2, I did not bother casting magic unless it was healing or Golem. It was just faster to just swing sticks.
Yeah, you had the Offering Emma combo, which Glue actually did not have, I believe. You also grabbed the Ragnarok Sword, which Glue knew about, but really didn't need, actually. I think Morgan is actually going into Kefka's Tower as we speak.
He just got his 10th. I think I forget what check it was, but is good to go now.
My dog.
Oh, he's leaving Gal behind to pilot the ship.
Celeste.
I found Celeste, but I didn't get her as well.
So
was in
Celeste was at the end. Well, actually, Celeste was at the end of Magic Facility.
Oh, that's right. You said that. That's
Yeah.
why I knew she was somewhere in there.
So she probably. So I don't think either of you would have gotten her because I'm guessing both of you clocked out after the second one.
Yep. Most definitely. And the first one being a dead check. MTech 1. Yeah, early game I was actually a bit worried about my armor because I was doing my shopping, I was routing in shopping, and I just was not finding the armor that I wanted until I eventually found the Genji armor, and that was a big help. Having the red jacket was also handy. Oh crud! I did have full party Merton protection.
Oh no!
I had the.
I saw
had
you had a
what?
Thunder Shield.
Thunder Shield, Flame Shield, Red Jacket, Pally Shield.
Oh yeah, you would have had it. You're right.
Oh yeah, you did all 12 battles.
11.
11.
11. It was
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, because Saban wasn't doing very much, so I just like, here you go, buddy, enjoy.
Now, Jex, what was your strategy going into the draft itself? Like, what were you going to try and pick?
I was mostly going for for the draft itself. I was just going for picks to mess with people.
Wow.
There
Shocking
was
with
How
you.
dare you, sir?
There was no rhyme or reason. Hence the, I picked calmness and, Glue is, hey, we're buddies, right?
That's not what happened. That is not what happened.
Uh-huh. I could smell your anxiety. It was like fine wine.
Check the tape.
You were waiting for me to ditch those barter shops. You were dreading it. I know it.
I actually thought you would have ditched the wealthy start, if anything.
I was thinking about that, actually. I was thinking about... But the wealthy start would not have had too much of an effect. It just meant we were looting a tiny bit more.
With the wealthy shop and bartering shop, there is no point in opening chests unless you happen to walk by it. Because my goal was, I have this 100k, let me just spend it all, I don't care on what. If it's anything that will make something happen. I'll spend it, so I bought a bunch of elixirs, some water edges, force armors, earrings, and a couple red caps, and that was that.
Oh, can I mention also how much of a show-off the dog here was trying to get a Kefka kill on a sketch at the end of the run,
you caught
which
that.
caused you to get nerd, by the way,
Going
in the
for
process.
sketch
Stupid
kill.
Havoc Wing.
I should have gone for that again. It totally left my mind once I hit, power mode, and just started swinging the sticks. But I did get the sketch kill on Katana Soul.
That
Very
is
nice.
true. You did get it on the second try, yes.
Yeah, the first time I ever did the sketch kill on Katana Soul, I'm like, huh, that's a thing.
Also, Glue doing the fancy pants trying to X-zone second half Bahamut instead of just murdening him down. It took him, I think, 4 tries of X-zone to kill him.
Yeah, I myself learned about the muddle kill for Katana Soul during a seed where the Doma defense where there's all the 8 different grunts you can fight. All of them were Katana Souls. So I just was farming offerings with muddle.
Wow.
Oh god,
That's insane.
that's a lot of money. I mean, like, Katana Soul just drops a pile of cash and offerings, which are worth a ton of cash. Yeah.
Find a VK or snipers in the shop. Woot woot.
I did at the end, when I was looking for the last Vesper, try to do the grind fights in Doma Siege, just because if that wasn't an Esper, at that point I was level, almost 40, and any monster that gives gold is going to give at least 20k, if not more, maybe a little less. But they were all level magic, or they were all level 90 magic, so...
Oh, I wanted to ask you about that about Jexy. Sorry. Did that scare the crap out of you when you did Poom Bubba check and it turned into Magimaster with only 2 characters in your party?
Um,
And it
I was
happened to be the
expecting
2
you was
characters that did not have Berserk?
that annoyed me actually. That annoyed me a lot. You know, like when Saban got blown off the screen, I'm like, not a big deal. When Terra got blown off the screen, I'm just like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
So it's just, but actually, Sword Tech 6 pulled its weight in that battle, big time. Just using stunner and dropping a casual 4K damage on Magi Master was fantastic. It sped that fight up significantly. And then
Stunner,
Gal
which I
casting
believe
flare.
is non-magical elemental damage. I mean, it's magical non-elemental damage. So.
Yep. And Locke's magic stat wasn't the greatest either compared to some of the other characters. I mean, like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't, 60, 70 magic power. But he was sitting on all those levels.
So Realm did have Fire 3 as a naturally learned spell, so that would have been helpful.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to just say a few words before I disappear on you guys, if you don't mind.
Oh, say them.
Excellent. So, anybody here in the Twitch and is interested in learning Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, come join us. There's a link to our Discord at ff6worldscollide.com. Got great community. We got a couple weeks left of Ultras League, and we also got some. Isn't there something going on or another where experienced players are mentoring new players? So
Yes,
if anybody's
there
Go for
is a mentor program. It is pinned in our beginners chat, which is where you will be dropped into if you join our Discord. You can sign up to Google Sheet. One of our seasoned players will reach out to you, work with you, try to figure out what's best for you to learn, whether it's some coaching or side-by-side running or just some video reviews. There's a lot. There's no one way to bake a cake, and we'll bake your cake any way we can. So, but some very talented players will work with you to get you going or get you better or whatever
Exactly.
level of comfort you want to reach.
Also, on top of that, we do, just from the mentor program that we got going on, we do have a wonderful community, and we're willing to help you and teach you. Aside from that, give our runners and our restream team a follow. GG's, and thanks for tuning in.
Very well said, as always.
Yep, thank you, Jexy and Glue, for volunteering to be on stream as well. Can't have the races without the runners, obviously. And wow, that ending credit sequence of this game is super duper long.
All right, GG's, guys. See you around.
And Christopher Walken is making his way through the statues right now.
Yeah, I don't think any of the Kefka Tower bosses were a big problem, right? We had the weaker version of Inferno. We had Tunnel Armor.
Narapa, Ultros 4, Senior
Yeah.
Behemoth was probably the most difficult one.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see how Christopher Walken does his Final Kefka fight. I'm pretty sure Gar has gotten over this Gar fits in over this with him as well in their video review or talking to him. But one thing I like to but preach is that there is one constant in every flag set or every seed, and that is that you have to beat Final Kefka to beat the game. And the best way to practice that is just do it over and over again. And then
Mhm.
rather than, go through a seed, take an hour, 2 hours, however long it's taking you every time, just go through all of your old seed files and just pick one from 3 weeks ago, load it up, take a minute or two to review what you had, because you're probably standing on the switches anyway if you didn't quit it.
Right.
Review what you had, and then go fight Kefka again and just kind of keep track of your times. And it's a great way to get experience doing it. You'll really, each time, if you just kind of take a peek at the battle script, or you'll start figuring out why some things happen, why some didn't, because it's one of those things where it's important, but it's not the most important thing, because the other
Mhm.
90% of the seed is more aggregate, more of a chunk of your time. But you can also cut off time on the back end. It's just really hard to focus on that back end when you are focused on a million other things before you get there.
Right.
So he's been practicing that quite a bit, and I'm interested to see in a bartering shop where you end up pretty overlooted. See, he has 26 elixirs, for example.
Yep.
How does
that was
he
that was a late game purchase for him. For
how
sure.
does he do with the goods?
One interesting thing you mentioned Final Kefka practice. I'm actually working on some code that will allow you. It's kind of like a Final Kefka practice ROM, where you can go on the airship, and instead of landing at the entrance of Kefka's tower, it'll land you on the Kefka switches at Kefka's tower, right? So you can
Nice.
sort of set your level beforehand. And I kind of give you all of the spells and all of the espers and 5 of each piece of equipment, and you get a whole bunch of stuff. Now
Yeah.
you could customize exactly what you want your character to be, and you could just say, well, I'm not going to use these spells during this fight, right? You can sort of cut yourself off and say, what happens in a Kefka fight where I don't have access to instant death, or I don't have access to mute? Those sort of things. So I'm working on it. I have it almost working. I have the spot where it goes to the switches instead of the entrance, but your party actually can't move when you get in the tower. So sort of
problem.
So yeah, I'm working on it. Is
So-
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Slight
He has
technical
a-
difficulty there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a 1:30, 1:42 start time. I typically, I would say players have been playing about long as Christopher would take a 15-minute Kefka fight here. Let's see if he can beat 10 minutes, because he's
It
pretty
looks like
loaded.
the X-Zone did manage to get long arm.
Nice.
Yeah, so we timed your final Kefka glue, and you were at 8 minutes and 48 seconds. But I know you had some issues because your golem user got muted, and you did not equip Siren, I don't think, for magic.
So I have, as I mentioned that, when I started playing, what I did was kind of what I said, is I would go through my old seeds and play. And I have found it is faster if you have a Mertens setup, or now Ultima setup, to just spam AoE and get everything down on tier 1 and 2, rather than mess with the accuracy of Doom and X-Zone. If you have Sword Tech 8, I still do it, but if I have Doom and X-Zone, I am not doing that shenanigans where I spend 2 to 3 turns hoping it hits, when I can cast Merton 2 or 3 times and take down 2 tiers and weaken the other 2 to half their health. Same thing with Siren. I just spam the Merton, just get it down. If it's not going to debilate you too much, if you know the script, if you know what can happen at certain levels, you'll be just fine.
So a great offense beats a reasonable defense.
1000%.
Or
Now, if
just
you're-
technical game.
Now, if you're so-so, like if you're not power overwhelming, then yeah, you still want to mute them. Then you want to play with your X-Zones because it'll be faster. But if you're just doing 7,000 Mertens with everything or whatever, then you just power on through it.
We got Earring, Economizer, Ultimas.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, all day. You just blue pill everything.
The only downside to that is that they you through one character with Golem and you only have 2 remedies and you're trying to hold on to them.
Yeah, so the dog mentioned that Christopher Walken, newer to the community, he's going to be very technical with this, like doing the mute, doing the X zone. So he's just going to progress through like he would normally. Did get tools down with that X zone. Magic is muted, so at this point, all you want to do is just kill Tiger as fast as possible. Ice 3 is probably faster, but we don't have it,
Well,
so Flare is a good option. So
here's the thing with Tiger Face that not a lot of people realize that he has 30,000 HP. When he gets right around 10,000-ish HP, he has a 2 out of 3 chance of doing the zombie attack and a 1 in 3 chance of doing nothing. And that's all he does until you either dies. So when you do your silence, when you do your X zone, you want to target Tiger Face, and once you start targeting them, you don't want to stop, because if you push him into that zombie phase, he'll just start firing off zombies, and you honestly, you may not even realize that it's him doing it. You may think it's another piece of tier 2 if you don't know the scripts or what each one can do, and you may feel like you're getting unlucky. You're not getting unlucky. You just pushed him into a phase where it sucks. So once you start firing away on him, you just want to keep going until he's either dies or.
yeah.
And then you want to focus on the rest of your tiers.
And also, if you want to go extremely safe, like the safest possible, you can even like stop hits if you want to do the bluey on the front on top of the Tiger there. Super safe mode is to even cast stop on them. They will unthaw out of it, for lack of a better term, but it will make it so that the only threat on the board for this tier is Tiger after you mute and auto kill tools. So once you get the cat down, you can basically just chip away at magic, chip away at hits, set up your life 3 for the next tier, make sure your health's good to go for the opener from sleep, and you can set yourself up as kind of a halftime or halfway point, because it's at the end of this tier, you're halfway through the run or halfway through the climb, so you can easily reset your party, get your life 3s up, such like that, and get ready for it. That's like the safest way to go. Not the fastest, but the safest way.
No, there are definitely times where like if your source of MP was going to be Osmos to get your MP back up. Now this is kind of when you want to do it when you have either
that too.
Hit or excuse me, the back or the front magic or hit left, because you know what they're going to do, especially if magic is silenced. All you can do is dispel you and quarter you before you move on, but that quarter can't kill you. So.
Yeah, the only problem we would run into is if you did magic less, if he quartered you, and he got all your party going into tier 3, and the tier 3 opener was Flare Star, that would be rough. But unlikely, but it would be rough. And it looks like he's got the last part of tier 2 down with hits.
He's about the 5-minute mark. He'll be at the 5-minute mark by the time these 10 hits are over, so it's pretty good. Very good, actually.
Yeah, actually, he's about 6 minutes in now. So now we get to tier 3 once again. You still there, Joker?
Yeah, you guys got a lot of this handled and are probably a lot more knowledgeable than I am, so I'm letting you take it.
No. Jump in, please.
I don't really have that much to add.
Sorry, the dogs took over. But yeah, tier 3, you got Girl who just heals, absorbs everything but non-magical. So Flare's obviously going to be the best on her. She has only 600 HP left, so this Flare should do it for her. And then Sleep again. The more damage you deal to him, the more agitated he gets. It did kill my run recently, unfortunately, for this. But yeah, you want to be careful because he has, I believe, 20,000 HP, right, Drinks?
40.
Or 40,000, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And when he gets under 10,000, that's when he starts doing his nasty stuff.
Yeah, Meteo Swarms and Trines, which it's Train in this game, technically it's supposed to be Trine. But if you do get a position, you get into a bad spot, you can use Revivify on him. It heals him for 5,000 HP. It gets him out of that Meteo hole, as we like to call. and it gives you a chance to try to recover.
So is Train another example of the fun aspects of mid-90s localization efforts?
Well, and all due respect, I mean,
I'm going to send you a clip from Family Guy, and I will let you decide.
I mean, granted, he only had 30 days to translate this from Japanese to English using limited amount of characters, because Japanese characters can say more words than straight English characters can.
And he also didn't necessarily. He played through the game, but didn't know, like on the script, what which dialogue parts went where. Which
yeah,
is
he didn't know
odd,
which is
crazy
went
to
where
me.
because he played the game out of order.
All sorts of fun stuff. But Golem comes up with the calmness, and we're on to tier 4.
Yep. But I mean, more recent versions of the game, like Pixel Remaster, like that, they have reworded things more. Maybe not correctly, but just make it more make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the newer the newer.
Too polished?
No. It's more like, I don't know what a Master Scroll is, right? What the heck is that?
Yeah, so there's really 3 versions of Final Fantasy VI, essentially. There's this version, which is the original version. Technically, we call it Final Fantasy VI. This is the emulated Super Nintendo version, which is Final Fantasy III. Because the release in the United States was the 3rd one that was released. Actually, technically it was the 4th Final Fantasy released in the United States, but it was the 3rd one in the series of Final Fantasy.
8 mega elixirs? Jeez, okay.
Yeah, he found the story of mega elixirs.
We good. Yeah, so one of the interesting parts, if you're a newer runner, is queuing up too many attacks at once, right? And learning when to wait in the menu there, as you see Terra unfortunately going down. That's always an interesting point. I like to give my runner or my mentees a challenge and just say, hey, play a seed with auto condemned on and try not to die. That'll teach you how to wait trick real fast.
But the other 2 versions of Final Fantasy VI I want to mention is the DS version, which has the extra dragon layer section of the game, which can give you better and stronger weapons.
You mean the Game Boy Advance?
Oh, sorry, Game Boy Advance version. That's what I meant. The advanced version.
Okay.
And then there's the, I guess you say, Pixel Remastered versions, like that kind of versions, where it has the renamed, I guess, general naming of all the Final Fantasy games, where they all call the same thing. But that version, if you want to play Final Fantasy VI, learn how to play it. The Pixel Remaster is probably the easiest, because it has added healing buckets and like that to where they normally weren't. So there's extra free healing and extra saves and stuff. So yeah.
And GG to Christopher Walken at 1 hour 41:53. It looks like.
So just a shade over your 10 minutes, like you said.
Nice. Yeah, I think using the flare spell definitely cost a lot more time there than using, one of the other elemental spells. I think that's probably part of the difference in the time there,
And we're joined now by Christopher Walken. Welcome, GG.
GG.
So you did way better than you did better in the 2 hours that you're predicting.
I predicted 90 minutes. So
okay, I'm sorry.
Right. I was about right.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got set back there at the beginning, and Narsh quite a bit there. Can you walk us through that real quick?
Yeah, I figured with the flags, with the mirror match, going against Glue and Jex, if I stood a chance, I had to gamble early, and I lost the gambles. So I'm not upset.
The same exact thing happened to me at the end in Potion D at the end of week 8 of last year. I had to do that same exact thing to have a chance to try to win the group, and it backfired on me too. So I can sympathize with you wholeheartedly on that.
Yeah, it was a calculated gamble and didn't pay off. So no worries.
All right. I asked the other two this, so I'm going to ask you as well. What was your strategy going into the draft itself?
I know. So I've done a lot of drafts specifically with Jex, and I know Jex likes to make it hard. And I'm like, counter that as much as possible because Jex is very good. I am not. So I've got to make this completable for me. My goal was to complete it, and I did that. So that was the goal, was make it so it wasn't a complete slog for myself.
Yeah, I think we were watching the draft and saw them calmness back and forth there at the end.
Yeah, it was. He did a card called Rose's Lament, which got rid of all white magic, and I was okay with that because we had Strago with health, and I'm like, okay, we have a source of healing. I'm okay with this. He calmness Strago with health, and I had calmness, so, and it was my turn next, so I calmness the Rose's Lament. I'm like, you calmness my healing, so I calmness the get rid of the healing. It's fair. Turns out I didn't need much healing, but okay then.
Yeah, sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Sometimes the best offense is a good defense.
A couple things that I will mention that you probably didn't find. Merton was the ticket of the night. Dream School was able to find Minerva's in a store, which 3 of the 4 characters could equip. You also had Merton in a fire shield equip on the 4th character that couldn't get the Minerva. So he kind of burnated the last like 2/3 and the last third of the race here. So
Okay.
also, you did find the Super Balls a little bit later than Drink School did, but you did find the Super Balls that got you through Doom.
Yep. I mostly forgot I had them at a certain point.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting there going, why am I? And then I realized I had them. I was like, why am I not using these? Why? Yeah. And then it got to the point where I was just like, okay, just flare everything, just make it go away. And I know flare isn't optimal as far as time, but I didn't have a better spell except for Fire 3 on Realm.
Yeah, there was no tier 3 spells of the elemental ones. There was just Flare was the only one, and Meteor, which not really is a tier 3 spell.
Yeah.
And Merton was the only other spells that was available, really.
Yeah, so I figured, hey, I've got Terra and Celis, who I can just jack their magic power, who already had, god status magic power. I can jack it through the roof with Minervas and enhancers, and earrings. So I'll just let them flare my way through the seed.
Yeah, that was a good strat.
Especially since I wasn't finding, weapons, regular weapons that were worth anything.
Do you think any of your familiarity with Ultras League settings may have gotten in the way of any of this stuff?
So this was my second seed with open world, so that I don't know if hinder was the right word. I forgot, in the beginning, I forgot it was I forgot it was open world. So I went up and did Kefka at Narsh, but I didn't do I forget his name.
Wolf.
The Wolf, yeah. Until I went and died doing Moogle defense. So and I'm like, oh yeah, it's open world, derp. So and that kind of brought me around. So just a little bit of muscle memory, force of habit type stuff.
Well, you definitely saw the mentorship coming through because you were using a lot of Ultras League basic skill sets to get through the seed. Do you think that mentorship is helping you out a lot with this?
Yeah, it is. Shout outs to I forget his name off the top of my head.
Oh no.
Shout outs to Gar, shout outs to Gar. He did a VOD review for me just the other day, and I was trying to implement a lot of the things that he gave me notes on. So shout outs to him, shout outs to everyone in the community, because I'm really, really new. I have a lot of vanilla knowledge. Final Fantasy VI is the best game ever made. Fight me. So the fact
We're
that
kind of biased here, so no fights here.
But playing I've wanted to get into the randomizer for a really long time, and I finally did it. Finally got over the hurdle of figuring it out, and now I just got to get over the hurdle of getting good at it. But everybody in the community has been super awesome, really helpful, all that kind of good stuff. Can't say enough nice things. In helping me, in teaching me, and trying to help me get better. So, great place.
Yep, it's a wonderful place. If you want to get more information on that, and of course, you can look up ff6worldscollide.com/Discord. You can join us in the Discord again. Run into the beginner section, try out the Moogle's First Seed, join the mentoring program. We have plenty of avenues that you can go to try to learn how to play this game with a great community to help you out with as well.
Hear, hear. And again, thank you for volunteering to be on Restream. We can't have the races without the runners, so really appreciate that as well. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, Saberwolf, Joker Mage, we got anything else we want to chat about, or do we want to get the heck out of here and go home?
I'm good to go. I think it was a great, definitely a refreshing change from seeing countless Ultra League 5. I mean, we love Ultra League 5, but it's nice to take a break every now and then, and this was an interesting and fun little break.
Yep, it's a great break from Ultras League. We don't have any events on the table from our community. I do want to give a quick shout out to my personal fundraising sponsor, which is Extra Life. Just over to extralife.org. Just search Saberwolf, where 100% of your donations goes to 6 children. Specifically for me, it goes to the Connecticut Children's Hospital. So check that out. It's for a great cause.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for doing commentary for the race. Really appreciate you volunteering to help out with the broadcast. This has been a lot of fun. And we will be back next week for our Worlds Collide Wednesday. Hopefully we'll see everybody then. And thanks to all the runners and crew as well. And that's it. Catch you all later. Bye-bye now.
Bye.